This Week in America.
Charlie Kirk shot and killed at an event in Utah.
We can now report that at least 2 students were shot.
Well, he's already one of the world's richest people, but Elon Musk could become the first ever trillionaire.
After this Russian move, tonight President Trump posting online, quote, "Here we go."
Since this channel is predominantly rooted in the detailed discussions on the history of our country, I would typically relate recent events to the unfortunate reality that our nation has a very rich history of cultural disasters. To think that just 60 years ago, within a 5-year time span, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. were all assassinated. I would also tie this engineered societal divide to the fact that 60 years later, we still have no real understanding of how and why these tragedies even took place. And the reason I would even look to history to begin with is to help us understand and course correct the realities that we are facing today. However, unlike tragedies of the past that have traditionally offered a period of collective unity, the recent events throughout the country here in the past few months, with this video specifically focusing on September 10th, 2025, forces us into an even larger conversation, as we are now fundamentally witnessing the collapse of the nation's humanity. The fact that, as a country, each and every single one of us, old and young, rich and poor, all witnessed a fellow human being, an American, a husband, a father, get shot in the neck in front of his family, and that we are not all collectively mourning together, and that we were actually having to fight for the fact that being murdered is wrong. Like, I've been pacing for the past 30 minutes because I can't find the word. I don't know if there aren't words that describe what it is that I'm experiencing, or I just don't have the vocabulary, but it's incomprehensible. The fact that there is a mother of 2 girls that she has to tell her daughters why they will never see their dad again, as she lays in bed, an empty bed, a cold bed that she will never get to experience with her husband again. And that people are saying, this is the worst thing that I've heard, that people are hoping that the bullet is okay. Like, it's like heartbreaking. Like, that is the fact that we are to this point is so disgusting. The other thing that I'm equally disgusted about is the fact that we have to have a disclaimer, that the people that have chosen to have the courage to discuss this, they're having to do the disclaimer that, hey, I didn't agree with his beliefs, but murder isn't okay. Like, that we now have to have a disclaimer that murder is not okay. Like, what have we come to? It's disgusting. While this discussion shouldn't need more things to say, it should be very straightforward. And there are a lot more things to say. Like I've mentioned, I don't know. I don't know. It's, I'm continuously watching. I saw this happen, and it was the most disgusting video I'd ever seen. I was horrified to see it. I was horrified to see the responses, and I've been looking for other videos, and I personally think Theo Von did the best, sharing just some raw authenticity. But I've been looking for the nation to have the nation's leaders to have some sort of real empathy. Something that I remember and I look to is how Walter Cronkite announced the assassination of John F. Kennedy, that he was officially dead, and how you see the humanity break through. And it's been just disgusting performances from everybody. So like I'm saying, while I probably should say more, as a nation, as we are now mourning our humanity, as we are mourning the loss of the freedom of speech, I think that is totally gone. Or at least this is the first domino to fall in the societal perception that it's gone. As there is a wife and a mother mourning the loss of their partner. Something that I want to discuss that is an immeasurable an immeasurable catastrophe from this situation is the youth hope in the country's future. Let's break down what has happened just in the past few weeks here in the United States. So first, once again, widely televised, you can see it all over, you can watch the video, the Charlotte train stabbing. A completely innocent young woman gets stabbed in the neck. And while that tragedy is horrible in itself, the disgusting aspect is that nobody did anything. They watched it happen and they just got off the bus or they got off the train. So you not only see that, you then see, for many people, Charlie Kirk was a leader. It was some sort of an inspiration, a light at the end of the tunnel, some sort of way to be able to build a foundation on a very weak infrastructure that we have. And you witness the death of that. And again, the death of him. And again, as just a human being, it's horrible to see that. But so you experience that. Then we experience the another shooting at Evergreen. Nobody's discussed that. Here in Austin, Texas, at Zilker Park, one of my most favorite places in the United States, a woman was shot in the back of the head. She's just been announced brain dead at the time of recording this video, and a police officer was shot. In Dallas, there was a beheading. In Houston, a Marine was shot. This is all within the same day. So as a young person, I'm going to put a screenshot because I want to show you what my first video was, or the second video when I opened YouTube on Wednesday, September 11th. I want you to see that this is what a young person is experiencing right now in the United States. I mean, throughout the world. I mean, we're seeing so much different global catastrophe, but just in the place that is supposed to be the beacon of hope, this is what you open your phone and you see. The unfortunate reality is that while we are having to face all of these things, you're also having to experience the worst job market for the emerging youth in 37 years. You're experiencing the most degraded dollar. Assets could not be more expensive. The likelihood that you will ever own a home is increasingly dwindling. Institutional investors are going to own 40% of single-family homes in the next 5 years. Is anything being done about that? Seriously, like, have you heard anybody actually, any leader actually discuss that? I think that's pretty important. We're going to be forever renters. So I'm 25 years old and I've already lost 2 friends. So 2 friends have already made the decision, they're not going to be a part of life anymore. And I am thankfully in a position to be able to provide value to a lot of people on YouTube. And, you know, it's crazy to think that besides MSNBC, I am the second largest job-related channel on YouTube. I mean, that is an accomplishment. And I put so much work into making that happen. Every single week, I get hundreds of comments of young people saying that they don't know why they should be a part of this world anymore. Like, you know how many parents are losing their kids because they don't feel like they belong in society? Like they can't get like a basic job. They go to school, they're promised these things by society, and then nothing happens. And not only that, you reach out for help and your elders are just telling you that you're lazy. Society is telling you that you're basically worthless. It's like, where is the leadership? This is the time where you need to have people stepping forward. And for a young person that wants to step forward, let's just go through what your options are right now, because a young person, one of the greatest components that we have is I think it's very difficult to break a young person's will. It's like one of our great gifts. And when you look at the change throughout history, it is fueled by young people. One of the greatest gifts, the greatest gift, one of the greatest things in human history is the fact that here in the United States, you have the freedom of speech. You have the ability to use your voice as the ultimate tool for change, for a better tomorrow. What we have just witnessed is that on both sides of the aisle, your voice either gets you killed, it gets you fired, it gets you censored. But just fundamentally basic components for most people, your voice gets you attacked from older individuals that are just completely clueless on what's happening in society. It's easier to just attack the young person that is just trying to start a family. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't check this channel because I'm scared it won't be there anymore. All I'm talking about is the fact that we need to improve the job market, the housing should be affordable, and I'm trying to give some recognition to the issues that young people are facing and bring older and younger individuals together. Like that is about as basic and fundamental as it gets. And one of the worst aspects about what it is that we're experiencing is that because what it is that I'm talking about is like revolutionary at the moment. Let me turn on this light real quick. I'll be right back. Because what it is that I'm talking about is revolutionary at the moment, the amount of comments that I get of saying he was of sound mind making this video, the amount of times that I show this video to an older individual that I know where they happen to watch it and I get a text message, I have somebody that sees me and they say, you have to be very careful making these videos. One of the saddest things was when Charlie Kirk got shot was I had a friend that texted me saying, made me think of you. And I'm just trying to do something. Like I'm not even, I'm just like, it's so sad that just trying to do the right thing, just trying to do some sort of act of kindness, some sort of, my conclusions are pick up some trash if you see it and be kind to your neighbor. And the fact that that from the people I know, those are the things that I hear that you need to be careful. Like that is the America that we're in right now. That's the state of the world. I can't just say it's the United States specifically, but again, we are supposed to be the beacon of hope. We are supposed to be the world leader. The leadership of this country is horrendous on both sides. The right and the left is atrocious. And it's been atrocious for a long time. This isn't just, oh, this just happened. No, it has been this way for a long time. And the craziest thing is to watch generation after generation after generation experiencing it and doing nothing. And I understand that it's difficult. I understand that it takes courage. But the reality is that it has been engineered to where your life is so difficult in terms of consistently living paycheck to paycheck, consistently pursuing, the next little societal achievement, that your life flashes by and you don't do anything. And the state of being a young person today is, I will just say, I have wonderful friends. I have very high performing friends. My friends are great people. I've called a lot of them here recently, and I've kind of been asking them, like, what are your thoughts on what's happening with society? I don't know a single person that said that they're ever going to vote again. So that is people detaching themselves from what should be, I guess if you believe in voting, which I do believe, but so I don't know anybody besides myself that is going to vote. The amount of people that I've spoken with that said when they saw what happened to Charlie Kirk, said that they felt so angry that they then wanted to act in violence. And so I would then have to tell them, if you do that, you become the person that has been corrupted. You have now just sold out your soul. And so what I'm trying to say is that high-performing, great people are easily becoming corrupted. How many people saw what happened to Charlie Kirk and said that the difference that I want to make, I'm not willing to pay that price? And I understand that sometimes you do have to pay a price and you have to sacrifice and you have to have discipline. I have done those things to create this channel. But it shouldn't be that you have to lay your life on the line to be able to build affordable housing. That shouldn't be the reality that we're in. And so I want to share this story because this is the last time that I have felt this discouragement, I guess, towards humanity or life. I don't really know. But after my second friend was no longer here on Earth, I was at the river in San Marcos and I was swimming, and I noticed that there was this kid across the river drowning, and he was like 3 feet away from a group of guys. There was other people on the side that saw him drowning. Nobody did anything. And so I had to go from across the river. I went underneath him. I had to like shoulder press him. So thankfully, not like a pat on my back. Thankfully, I'm pretty strong. I work out. I was able to shoulder press him over, then carry him over to the steps. I get thrown up on. It was just water. His mom pulls him out, and they walk away. And I was looking around as if, did anybody see that he literally was sinking to the bottom? So later, I'm sitting on the side, and the group of guys come over, and they say, "You're our hero," so sarcastically. Like when I heard that, it felt like the devil whispered in your ear. It's like, how does a person that has a moral compass say something like this? And so that was before I started this channel, but I've always been somebody that has cared so much and has always wanted to do what I can to help. And when I heard that, I felt so discouraged. What I recognized in that, after talking about it and feeling just so angry for quite a while, was that I can't give up because I was somebody that acted. And it's not because I'm special. It's because there is still good out there. There are people that do good. The reality is that the United States that we're experiencing is we see the far right, which is probably 5%. And we see the far left, which is like 5%. But they are so loud, and the 90% is so quiet. It seems like everybody else is either in that 5% on each side. Something that I have to do with my YouTube friends singular, is we have to remember that in a video, whenever there might be some bad comments or some hate or things like that, is look at how many views you got, look at how many likes you got, because that shows you there was a lot more good that might have been quiet than there was bad. When you're trying to make a change, like I don't look at my YouTube channel as like a YouTube channel. I look at it as some sort of fuel for greater change, some sort of beacon for hope, some sort of potential leadership for those that need it. And when you just predominantly see on certain videos just negative comments, how am I supposed to know that maybe there wasn't a silent negative crowd or something of that nature? Why I'm saying this is that it is time for us 90% to have the courage to do something. Do not see what's happening in society and give up. I want to say this to show my frustration at the moment. I am currently making a video about ghost jobs, and I'm trying to get people to... My mission right now with job-related content is breaking down the fact that people looking for jobs are not just data points. The working class is not just data points. They are human beings. So I'm trying to humanize the job market. Now I'm realizing that just the whole freaking country needs humanized, which I guess makes sense. But so I'm trying to humanize the job market. I reach out to smaller creators that are talking about the job market. I'm reaching out to a LinkedIn group chat about the about ghost jobs, and I have an individual that is a part of a community about ghost jobs. I was recommended people that agreed that they were going to talk about the video. And again, I reached out to these other individuals. Nobody has gotten back. 2 people have gotten back, actually, and 1 is already now not responding. So to just say that there are people that want to make a difference, and people are always saying, so how do we make a change? I'm like, here's a microphone. Speak into it to show that you're a human being and that this issue is ruining the job market. And I can't get anybody. The second largest job-related channel in the United States are on YouTube, and I can't get anybody to talk about ghost jobs. Like, I can only do so much. People can only do so much. Like, at some point, you have to contribute. And I always say, do the best you can. And that's where it's like, fix the mat in front of a restaurant that's crooked. Pick up the garbage. Go offer some help for your neighbor, or go see the local homeless person and try to give them some leftover food or a water bottle. I always try to keep water in my car, and I've been forgetting recently, but I try my best to be able to do that. Or I personally give them money, and I know some people are opposed to that, but that's what I do. Do what it is that you can. And especially in the comment section, like, I'm just going to say, I don't view myself as a YouTuber. I don't tell anybody that I'm a YouTuber. I don't like that. I think it's limiting. I think that YouTube is a good platform for getting the discussions across, but I am here because I want to be able to make some sort of change. It's like the new punk rock. I care about the United States. I want the United States to do good. I want Americans to do good. I want to be able to be a father. I personally want to have 2 daughters. Like, this is the things that I want. And so I choose to wake up and act on that each and every single day. And so for me, the comments are more than just like, I care about them. So if you don't comment, start doing it. Share, have discussions, do something. Like, please. We are a part of a society that is consistently fighting over the more cushioned seat on the train heading straight over the cliff. And the fact that we are experiencing this as a nation, and there's going to be a UFC fight at the White House, it's disgusting. It's like, it's repulsive. So I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do. Is I've already announced that I'm going to do a road trip throughout the working class cities of the United States. So it's going to be cities and rural towns. I didn't say that before, but that is what I'm going to do. And the goal is 3 to 6 months. I'm going to be gone for a long time, and I'm going to try to raise as much money as I possibly can. My goal is to be able to actually give away $100,000 to the families that I meet along my journey. I'm planning to leave end of 2026, most likely middle of 2027. So it's going to be through brands bringing on. I will be starting a Patreon to help fund that. I'm going to be making documentaries and hopefully selling those. So there's a lot of things that I'll be working on. I believe it is time that we begin, like what Charlie Kirk did, to give the microphone to people. I don't want to have debates. That's not what I believe in. I want to give the person the microphone, the people that feel invisible, and I want them to have a voice. But as a country, we need to believe that our voice is worth being heard. And so if you don't have the courage, my mission is I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to do as much as I can to show these greedy politicians that you don't need $1 billion to do a campaign throughout the United States. I'm going to do it. If I'm sleeping in my car, that's what I'm going to do. It's going to happen. My goal also was I was going to do a second tour. I was going to do it at universities. And I thought, instead of doing debates, I was going to do discussions. And it was going to be a full hour, unedited. And it was going to be more about hearing what the college student is wanting. And it was going to be a little bit more intimate. And I wanted to have that and the tour throughout the working class cities to go talk to politicians of, why are you not doing this? To hold them accountable. Our leaders, once again, in this country are pitiful, and we have to start saying something. That's all that I have to say. So until next time, bye-bye.